Full time at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0. And that, to be honest with you, probably had everything you wanted in it as an Arsenal fan. If you came to the stadium today, well, I suppose you were hoping for four things. You're hoping for an Arsenal win, you got that. You were hoping maybe for a glimpse of Emirates Stadium, a new signing. You got that before kickoff. You were hoping potentially for a Victor Gyokeres goal. Well, I could do better than that. You got two. And you thought maybe there might be an outside chance of a debut for Max Dowman. You got that too. 5 goals into the bargain as well. Let's make that the 5th good thing. All in all, a fantastic day for Arsenal and a brilliant victory ahead of a really tricky run of games, obviously starting with Liverpool next weekend. Bit of a cloud over it with injuries potentially to Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. Have to hope that's precautionary. Have to hope they've got those big games in mind, the likes of Liverpool and City and Newcastle all on the horizon. But let's set that to one side for now. This was a brilliant day. We'll start with the Eze unveiling. Football's my job right now. I'm still a football fan, but it's a professional thing for me, and that can make you at times a bit cynical or a bit jaded. I like to think not too often, but it does happen time to time. But there are moments that cut through that, and Eze's unveiling really was one. You know, he's really known to be a fantastic guy in football. He's an Arsenal fan, let go by the academy, age 13, heartbreaking moment for him. To be back here, to get that kind of reception was really special, and you could see him soaking it all in. He's a player I've loved for a really long time, really excited to see what he could do in an Arsenal shirt. So yeah, fantastic news, great signing, gave everybody a massive lift, and I can't wait to see him on the pitch. Game starts and we get the goal from the set piece, right? Set piece FC, strike again. Declan Rice, he's going to get a few assists this season, that's a guarantee. Julian Timber gets on the end of it with a header, really neat little run and header from him too. I think, look, Timber got 2 goals on the day, second one a bit more scrappy, but again a Declan Rice delivery. There's going to be debate all season long probably about our 4 fullbacks and about who should play and the varying degrees of strength among them. One thing I would say is that Timber and sorry, someone was just chatting to me and I distracted me. Timber and Calafiori, one advantage they have over White and Lewis Skelly is the degree of threat they offer at set pieces, right? Calafiori scored off a corner last week at Old Trafford and 2 goals for Timber today. And Lewis Skelly, I think when we have a corner, doesn't really even go in the box. He's kind of the guy who's back on the halfway line. Ben White, he does get involved, but he's more a guy who's sort of trying to pull the goalkeeper's shorts down or something like that. His goal record for the amount of games he's played for us is not necessarily the best. So it's a small margin, but hello mate, it is an area that I'm sure might be in Mikel Arteta's thoughts. Set piece is so important, particularly when you're playing these teams like this, low block, the ability to break open a game with the dead ball is really, really powerful. Gyokeres didn't have the best first half, missed a decent chance, ball broke to him and he rushed at it somewhat, maybe slightly feeling the pressure. There's been a lot of debate, a lot of scrutiny off the back of Old Trafford, which I think is probably unfair given how early it is in his time at Arsenal, how he's still acclimatising to the Premier League and probably still getting up to full match fitness. We get the second goal through Saka, Timber again involved, nice little pass down the line. Saka, we've seen that right-footed finish before, into the roof of the net. I don't think the keeper will be particularly thrilled with his contribution to it, but brilliant finish from Saka, and it's 2-0 right on half time. And you're starting to feel very comfortable then, aren't you? I mean, 2-0 up against a promoted side. It was around that time I started to think maybe we are going to see Max Dowman. Second half starts, and Gyokeres gets his goal early on. And I liked how direct he was, I liked how single-minded he was, I liked how when the ball was played into the channel, he loves that channel by the way. If you've not seen a lot of him, much like Thierry Henry, they're very different players, but he loves that inside left channel. Races into there, pushes inside, shot at the near post, single-minded, like I said, a goal scorer's goal and a weight off his mind, I'm sure. If he'd gone through today without a goal, the critics would have been out, but he ends it with 2 from 2 games now, 100% record, so it's looking much healthier. Timber gets his goal off the set piece. That's 4. And then in stoppage time, Max Dowman gets on. Now listen, he's the second youngest player for Arsenal in Premier League history, I believe. Ethan Ranieri's still the youngest. He came on, of course, for Odegaard, who picked up that injury. That's significant, by the way. When Odegaard was injured in September, October time last year, Ranieri wasn't getting those games. He wasn't getting those minutes. Arsenal were doing the old Havertz and Trossard 4-4-2 type thing. Ethan is now there as the Odegaard backup, and I think significant that he came on today. If Odegaard isn't ready for Anfield, perhaps he'll play those minutes too. Or perhaps it'll be Eze, who knows. And then Dowman comes on. Look, when Ethan came on, he came on for that one game. We didn't see him again for quite some time afterwards. I feel like with Dowman, this is not a token appearance. This is not just part of a contract negotiation. It's not to demonstrate a pathway. It's because Mikel Arteta feels he deserves it, because he's impressed on every occasion he's been used. And you could see the crowd and the players, Declan Rice in particular at one point, were desperate for him to get on the score sheet today and set another record. He won a penalty though, and he's making a real habit of doing that. He's got such trickery, such quick feet inside the penalty area. Wins a penalty in stoppage time. A few fans around me wanted Dowman to take it, but the ball went to Gyokeres. I think that was the right decision. He buried it as you'd expect him to. Fantastic record from penalties for Sporting over the years. And Arsenal get the 5th goal. May well take them top of the league. I need to check the table, but certainly a very, very healthy win. And yeah, Arsenal will feel like they batted away a lot of questions that were asked of them. Very different game to United. We spoke about the transitions, the counter-attacks after that game. This was about breaking down a deeper defence. They needed those set pieces. They needed the brute force and the single-mindedness of Gyokeres. They needed the trickery of Dowman, and they've got Eze to add to that formula. So very, very exciting. A little bit of a negative maybe with the injuries. Saka looked to be holding a hamstring, a thigh. I think it was the other one, so the one that he had surgery on last season. We'll have to wait and see. Doesn't look the best. Madueke started on the left wing today. If Saka's not ready for Anfield, I'd like to see Madueke on the right. He looked more comfortable there to me when he switched to that side in the second half. Odegaard, yeah, a bit of a worry, but we might have Eze fit and available by then, and that does make things look a lot more palatable. 5 subs today. Trossard got on. Obviously, he got his contract adjustment in the week, so I think he is still part of the plans here. I'd expect him to be here beyond the deadline. A couple of players who didn't get minutes today might just be interesting from a transfer perspective. Jakub Kiwior, not involved. I think he'll want to go. If Arsenal can do a deal, Porto interested, that one could happen. And no Gabriel Martinelli today. No Gabriel Martinelli. Look, they obviously wanted to give Dowman the game. They obviously wanted to give Madueke the start. But when you add Eze into that mix, and there's some suggestion Eze is being considered strongly for the left-hand side, do you slightly worry about Martinelli and where he'll fit in? If an offer came in this next 7 days, I think Arsenal would consider it very carefully. Let's put it like that. It's not been that level of interest forthcoming so far. A bit of a sniff from Bayern, but not much more than that. So have to wait and see. But that would be your dark horse, wouldn't it, for the last 7 days of the window? Might there be a Martinelli exit? You do get the feeling we will have to balance the books in some way eventually. Anyway. And that's all for another day. Fantastic win. Fantastic first home game of the season. If they're all like this, we'll have a lovely time. All right, guys, I'll leave it there for now. Take care. Bye-bye.